Hey everybody, I want to show you a new bait that Big Bite came out with this year. Show you a little bit about it, and then also show you how I like to rig it up here in northern Michigan, and some ideas on how you could do it elsewhere. But anyway, this college craw, brand new for this year, as you can see, lays out just like there's a zillion of these on the market, but this has got one thing about it that sets it apart from the rest of them that I think is really important. But anyway, the flaps on it beveled at the end, higher, so it's going to catch that water, change the movement, and create a turbulence in the water. The biggest thing about this bait that I think is going to be the thing that sets it apart from all the rest of them is the segments in the back. This is built so you can take this and you can segment it off if you want to compact your craw down. So like when you're throwing a flipping jig and you hook it up and your bait's hanging off this far out of the back of the jig, doesn't look natural. But when you can compact it down, take a couple segments off and shorten up the profile, or if you just want a shorter profile, maybe the fish are biting better on something that's smaller and compact, anything like that. So you can change that with this. Now a lot of people are going to say, yeah, you can bite off the end of them. I've been doing it for years too myself. The difference is the diameter and the length of this is all the same where these segments are. So if you bite off a regular craw, the end of that isn't the same diameter throughout it, and it's not the same when you get to the end. It's not going to be the same as putting it in on the very end, which everybody knows that that's always the best hookup. When you're Texas rig it and you get it in there, it sits in there perfect. But when you bite it off, there's going to be an edge, a corner. Even if you cut it off, there's going to be something different. Where with these segments, you can cut that off, make it any size you want to, and create a different profile for it. Up here, I like using 3/0 Gamakatsu on something this size, EWG hook. I just like the, probably downstate or in a little bit dirtier water, I'd probably use a 4, but up here I like using a 3. I just think it makes a little bit of difference in the clear water. So with anything, when you're Texas rigging, you're going to go in the end, you're going to come back out, and you're going to have that bait's going to be hidden in there, similar to this when you're all done. So simple thing, what you want to do is kind of gauge the distance of what the end of your Gamakatsu hook down here is going to cover. So you stick it in as far as what you think that's going to go, and then spin it back around, drive it down. So now that sits perfectly into there. Then measure up where you're at on the end of your craw, where you're going to come out at, and then line it up on the top and pop it back through the bottom. So this now is going to be weaveless. What I like to do once I get it popped through, it's sitting perfect, hanging straight. What I like to do is I like to push it back a little bit and just skin it through that plastic right there and try to get it so it's right back where it was, but that way when I set the hook, it'll penetrate a little bit better. So we got a weight on here, gonna go through the weeds, gonna go through rocks, gonna sit in there real nice. Still get a good hook set. Something gets hung up on there, the bait's still gonna move freely from here. So really good bait by Big Bite. A lot of color selections. I think the favorite one of mine probably is going to be green pumpkin, which I got a whole bunch of bags of these, but that one right here, and then this one here is a two-tone, and it's really good for those dirtier waters. I know a few people that would be using this down in Wixom and Sanford for sure. So spicy purple is just a different color. Probably not something I would use a ton up here, but the watermelon red flake on the top does work pretty well up here too. So but green pumpkin seems to be my favorite thing up here to use. So got this rigged up on 18-pound Sniper Sunline fluorocarbon. When you're flipping and things like that, you'd probably be using braid, but up here in the clear water, I like using the fluorocarbon, and 18 pounds seems to sink perfectly and still give me good abrasion resistance. So anyway, Big Bite college craw, go get you some.